Uh-oh, Donald Trump and his Department of Justice have a little problem. The U.S. Attorney for Maryland, Kelly O. Hayes, who just obtained the John Bolton prosecution, she's not going forward with the prosecution of Senator Adam Schiff from California. And according to MSNBC and two sources confirmed by them, she told that to her boss, Todd Blanche, in a meeting updating her about the cases. They're going to fire Kelly O. Hayes now. They need her in the Bolton case. But, you just can't get prosecutors to do certain things, and she's drawn the line on Adam Schiff. Wait till I tell you about the secret memo that the LA Times found from the files of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the two mortgage liquidity entities that are involved in the mortgage industry, that it's headed by Donald Trump's chief sycophant and bootlicker, Bill Pulte. Bill Pulte drummed up this entire attack on Adam Schiff. It's being led by Ed Martin, which is your and my shadow attorney general. And Kelly O. Hayes, I don't know what the O in Kelly O. Hayes stands for. Crap, I'm not bringing this prosecution, apparently. I'm Michael Popok. You're here on Legal AF. It is Friday morning. Let's kick it off with yet another prosecutor problem with Donald Trump. We should have music assigned to prosecutor problem. Oh my God. He can't just fire his way out of this one. Now let me back up. About 2 months ago, Donald Trump basically choreographed with Bill Pulte, the Nepo baby guy who's used his family fortune to buy a chairmanship on Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which is what undergirds our mortgage industry. It guarantees loans and mortgages to banks to make them feel comfortable in making the loans. It helps securitize those loans and sell them off to the investing community. They're important. They do some fraud investigation. There is an Office of Inspector General. There is a crimes unit. Donald Trump's using it to go after Dr. Lisa Cook on the Federal Reserve, Letitia James, and now Adam Schiff, who Donald Trump loves to call Shifty Shift and whatever, because he doesn't like the fact that Adam Schiff led the impeachment charge and is a sharp critic of Donald Trump. Turns out that 20% of Donald Trump's cabinet and his Treasury Secretary took out mortgages where they checked the box at the same time for something that wasn't entirely true, which is two homes being primary residence or one being a secondary residence, but not able to be rented out, whatever. This is very commonplace. And Adam Schiff owns two properties. He owns one in his district in California, and he owns one in Maryland. Most of the House and the Senate have two primary residences. They either rent something near Washington, and they have something in their home district, in this case, the state of California. It is completely logical for them to argue that both homes are their primary residences. And the banks are generally not defrauded because they know that Adam Schiff is from the great state of California. So the bank lending him on the Maryland loan, of course, knows he really lives in California most of the time, and vice versa. So there's no mortgage fraud. And this is the problem that Kelly O. Hayes has had in Maryland, and what, according to sources, which is already leaked, because this is the leakiest Department of Justice and Administration I've ever seen, which is good for us because then I can do this reporting. She had a meeting with Todd Blanche, the number 2 in the Department of Justice. She said, I can't make this case. Now, one of the reasons she may not be able to make the case is because the existence of a memo that was prepared by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, apparently at the command of Bill Pulte. And in the memo, they say there's some double loans and mortgages going on, but don't ever say the F word. Don't ever use the F word. And I mean fraud at any time. Now, in fact, I'm going to post up here. We'll put it up on the screen. And I'm going to post in on Substack for Legal AF, the memo. But I have a copy of it here. And here's what it says. It's dated July 14th of 2023. And it says to Bill Pulte from the Fannie Mae financial crime investigation, which is very weird. This is going directly to the director through the Office of Inspector General. It says that Fannie Mae crimes investigation received a document demand from the Federal Housing Finance Agency's Inspector General. Also weird. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are brothers and sisters. They're headed by the same guy, Bill Pulte. So the Office of Inspector General is making a demand on the crimes unit for all documents about Adam Schiff, and this doesn't have Donald Trump's fingerprints all over it, along with Bill Pulte? Come on. So they never wanted you to see this memo, apparently. The demand requests the loan file and any related investigative or quality control documents about Adam Schiff. And then they go through the Maryland property, the Burbank, California property, and the like. Here's the conclusion. Fannie Mae Financial Crime Investigation concluded that Adam Schiff engaged in a sustained pattern of possible occupancy misrepresentation. That's not fraud. The misrepresentation began with the reliance or refinance of the Maryland property and continued through the Maryland property, and the loan involved has been paid off. Where is the criminal mortgage fraud? Nowhere. That memo is a killer that we just discovered the LA Times published, because it shows why Kelly O. Hayes can't bring this prosecution, won't bring this prosecution. Who's pushing for it? Nobody, no career prosecutor worth their salt is pushing for it. It's Ed Martin, Eagle Ed Martin. Used to be a federal prosecutor, hasn't been for a long, long time. He couldn't get confirmed as the U.S. attorney in D.C. He got put into the weaponization of the Department of Justice Working Committee by Pam Bondi. He's a part-time pardon attorney for Donald Trump. He's really Donald Trump's shadow attorney general. He's the reason Lindsay Halligan got the indictment against Letitia James. He's the reason that Lindsay Halligan got the indictment against James Comey. He's the stiff iron rod that is being used against Lindsay Halligan, and she's following his direction. But Kelly O. Hayes isn't. Let me play you a clip of Donald Trump going after Adam Schiff about this issue because he got, with a ribbon tied around it, a package of misinformation and mischaracterization about Adam Schiff. I'm going to repeat, I can't believe any bank would claim that they were defrauded by the fact that a California senator also has a home in Maryland. Play the clip.
It looks like Adam Schiff really did a bad thing. They have him. Now, let's see what happens. It's not up to me. It's not up to, I stay out of it purposely. But it's mortgage loan fraud. It's a big deal. He defrauded banks and insurance companies and the federal government. But it's very simple. It's mortgage loan fraud. And you're right. That's a lot of people to live in a one-bedroom apartment, right? But he put it down. But he has a lot of other things far worse than that. So, no, Adam Schiff, they have him 100% on mortgage fraud.
That there's a grand jury on Adam Schiff for apparent mortgage fraud. If he is indicted, should he step down as a U.S. Senator?
Well, you know, I'm not going to comment on that. I would just say Adam Schiff is one of the lowest forms of scum I've ever dealt with in politics. He's a horrible human being, very dishonest person. I have no idea what's going on. You tell me that he's going to be indicted. I don't know. You could ask Pam. I don't know if she could say it. Probably you are allowed to say it, but I wouldn't know about that. I can only tell you he's a very bad. I think he's actually a sick person. Do you want to?
Now it goes even further. It says that this is what Donald Trump had to say in his social media posting. You can tell this was written for him. We know now that his social media posts are written for him because during the Hamas-Israel issues, remember when Marco Rubio kept running in and whispering in his ear and handing him a draft to approve of his own social media posting? Here's what he said about Adam Schiff. I've always suspected Shifty Adam Schiff was a scam artist, and now I learned that Fannie Mae's, see how this is written for him, Financial Crimes Division have concluded that Adam Schiff has a pattern, engaged in a sustained pattern of possible mortgage fraud. You just saw the memo. I just read it aloud to you. They didn't say mortgage fraud. They said possible misrepresentations. That's not fraud. And I don't even see how there's been any fraud at all. Adam Schiff said that his primary residence was in Maryland to get a cheaper mortgage and rip off America. What, on a loan that was already paid? When he must live in California because he was a congressman from California. I always knew Adam Schiff was a crook. The fraud began with the refinance of his property in Maryland in 2009, and then until he corrected it as a second home in October 2020. Mortgage fraud is very serious. He needs to be brought to justice. And then Donald Trump, sends Pam Bondi. He must be prosecuted now. Hurry up, Pam. In another posting. You saw the memo. It's all a lie. That's why Adam Schiff, represented by Abby Lowell, who represents Letitia James, who represents Lisa Cook, is not scared about this, why he's not backing down about this at all. But the fact that Kelly Hayes, is not bringing this case, there's a problem. It's going to be very hard for the Trump administration now, who's invested all the time and got out of her what they wanted, the John Bolton, Ambassador Bolton indictment, to now say she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's rhino, she's Marxist, she's leftist. I had to fire her. Good luck. Good luck. She's doing what Jack Smith said Department of Justice prosecutors should do. No fear or favor. Follow the facts where they lead and the law. May not have agreed with the John Bolton indictment. Man's presumed innocent until proven guilty. But now I see she's got a conscience. She's got ethics. She's decided this is a bridge too far. We need to follow this story closely. And I'm going to do it here on Legal AF. I'm going to do it on Legal AF Substack. And now more than ever, we need your help. We need to continue to grow this channel. That's not ego. It's defense. We need a Department of Defense, now that there is no longer one, to defend us from the attacks by the Trump administration and MAGA around him against Midas Touch and everything related to Midas Touch, including Legal AF. Hit the free subscribe button. Take a receipt. You've now started your involvement with protecting free speech and independent commentary like you're enjoying here. Come over to Legal AF Substack. Become a paid member for $6.77 a month. That's it. And then you support all of our content, all of our contributors, keep the lights on, keep the editors paid. It's our business model, right? We appreciate you being there for it and you being a card-carrying member of the Legal AF community. So until my next report later today, I'm Michael Popok. I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok Firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.